Welcome back. Another episode. Hopefully we'll have another episode. Another episode of Davidson's All Natural Gym. You can come by anytime and work out for free. Naturally. Now, I hope you all know when they say naturally, I just mean, you don't have to go to a gym to work out. There's no need to pump weights. Just come over here, we'll cut some logs and load some lumber and stack some lumber, and you can curl them or bench press them or put them on your shoulder and do lifts, squats with them, whatever you want to do. But have you ever thought about what's the definition of a log? What's the definition of a sawmill log? What's this? That's not a log in my definition of a log. This is not a log. So when somebody calls me up and says, I got 10 logs, I need you to come sawmill them for me. One of my first questions is, what's your definition of a log? My definition of a log, the end of it won't fit in a 5-gallon bucket. What's a 5-gallon bucket? 10 inch, 12 inches? This cedar log's 8 inches max, probably 7.5, probably inside bark, probably 7.5, maybe. Pushing 7 probably. So I don't define that as a log. Now, the size is determined a sawmill log, but the other one is, I meet the other two definitions. The other two definition is a log's round and it rolls. If you can't roll this log, then it's not a sawmill log. And the other definition is a log is 8'6" minimum. Those three things in mind, this is not a log. So we don't have cedar around here. I don't mill cedar. I don't normally carry cedar lumber. I had to buy these logs. Obviously the cedar guy's definition of a log is different than mine. And maybe that's normal. I don't know. Let me know in the comments, because I don't know. Cedar logs are normally this small. I guess so. Mine are all, well, they're not all this small, but 12 inches is, on the small end, is a good cedar log in my lot that I just bought. So I don't know if somebody's definition of a cedar log is different than a sawmill log. Now these are going to work for me. These are going to work just fine. I'm going to get 4x4s out of the middle and 1 inch on one or two of the sides there. And a 1x6 cedar is plenty for a deck. And when I get enough 4x4s and just start cutting this, I'm going to get plenty of 1x6s out of this. So I guess it meets your definition of a log, and I guess a sawmill would probably take this cedar log. But around here I'm used to red oak and white oak, and that doesn't make a red oak log. Does not meet the definition of a red oak log, or a pine log for that matter. It's pushing it for a walnut. I'd probably saw up a walnut that big, but I'd have to be desperate. Is there a different industry standard for cedar logs than there is for pine logs, just because they grow so small? Isn't there a industry standard when some guy says he's got some cedar logs for sale, and he's a logger, and he's not just a Joe Blow? I understand Joe Blow is not going to know the definition of a cedar log, but a logger, doesn't he have an industry standard for what a log is? Or is that normally different than the industry standard for what a pine log is? A pine log, this would be pulp. This would be pulpwood. For pine, would this be cedar chipwood or what? Or can they sell that as a log? I don't know. I don't know what the industry standard is, or if there is one. But when you're thinking about buying cedar logs, there ought to be a standard. I mean, when you're thinking about, I guess there's no standard for buying a box of cereal or a bottle of water, is there? If you order a bottle of water at a restaurant and they bring you a little 3-ounce bottle of water, there's a bottle of water, isn't that? But I don't think that's an industry standard. I think there needs to be one. I think there ought to be one. Anyway, let's cut it up.